Are you ready? Are you ready for the thrill of victory? Are you ready to taste victory? Are you ready to take your sports betting to a whole new level? Sit up, put your feet on the floor, because we have work to do. Welcome to the grind. Welcome to Cappers Nation, your weekly all things sports betting show. Tune in live every Thursday at 8 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Let us make you a more successful sports bettor.
Fantastic. That might be the best intro ever, and you couldn't have heard me. Anyways, welcome everybody, Cap Nation Live, show number 2. All right, show number 2. We'll do the intro again. Welcome everybody, Cappers Nation Live. The madness has begun. The madness is full force underway. Utah losing after being a live dog up fairly good late in the second half. Whoo! Looking for a dog winner at plus 140 until the final buzzer goes off. 3 seconds left. Oregon State takes a 24-foot 3-point attempt. Boom. State downs Utah. It's okay though, because we took a live show lean on Utah plus the points as well as the over. That was a nice hit there. The announced no fans in the tournament. No fans in the tournament, but the show must go on. A-Rod says the madness is officially dead. Without fans, there is no madness. Well, as long as you've got something to bet on, I guess the madness is there, because I promise you, everybody that will be in Las Vegas next week, or that is there right now, is having a badass madness of a time. And the show must go on. So regardless, fans or no fans, not many were playing on their own home court anyways, so there wasn't that much of an advantage. A lot of these teams travel exceptionally well anyways. Yeah, does it suck that there'll be no fans? Yeah. I mean, what are we going to hear? What are we going to hear? We're going to hear a lot of sneakers chirping. We're going to hear the refs at the scorer's table discussing whatever it is, because it's just going to be silence. Silence among them up at the court. And maybe they'll play some fan noise, all right? Maybe they'll throw in some added static, so that way we can't at least hear what the refs are saying at the score table. Oh, yep, hey, Bobby, we screwed that one up. Let's give the next call that's controversial the other way, or whatever the case may be. But either way, the madness will go on. We'll still have games to bet. We'll have money to be made. And quite frankly, I wasn't going to be at the games anyways, so I don't give a rat's ass if there's fans there or not. All right? They want to say, each home court advantage is worth 3 points. That is baloney. That is bullshit. Not every home court is worth 3 points in football or basketball, 100%. Not all fans are worth 3 points anyways. All right, sometimes it's the travel. Sometimes it's where they're sleeping versus at their home court. Sometimes it's how a team plays away from their home court. That makes them an extra 3-point dog, or gives the other team a 3-point advantage. But either way, the show will go on, And so will our 2-time-a-day live shows. Christopher Bayer, will it change the way the teams play? Absolutely not. If you think that no fans in attendance are going to change the way these kids go out and play, you are absolutely wrong. My instant thought, we'll probably be betting a few more overs. No crowd noise to throw off the one team on one side versus the other. It's going to be weird, no motivation. That's the most, no offense, A-Rod, but that's the most asinine thing that I've ever heard. Because there's no fans in attendance means that there's going to be no motivation for these kids to advance to the next round. Constantine says, yeah, it's going to be all threes. No, I disagree. But to say that there's going to be no motivation, you're dead wrong. No, don't be sorry. It's your opinion. You're allowed to be it. I'm just telling you, with all due respect, I think it's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. I promise you, there's going to be motivation. It's called being the champions. Robert S. says, everyone wants to be a champion. Motivation enough, in my opinion. I promise you, they could care. I promise you, the kids on the court can care less about who's in the stands. Unless it's a scout. And I'm pretty sure scouts in attendance is essential personnel. Now, get this. I would almost be willing to bet advertisements for TV for next week. The price just went up. That ad time is going to be 2 to 3 times as expensive without fans in attendance because everybody's going to be at home watching. Constantine says LeBron said he won't play. Well, then you're also, if you're going to say that, you also have to say the other thing, that he said that he will listen to the league if the league bars fans from joining. He will definitely hear the league out. LeBron's playing. I guarantee you that. He's not going to play. He's not going to not play for the fans. But again, no fans being in attendance, let's be honest, does that affect you? No. Does that affect me? No. Fans not being in attendance won't affect us one way or another. And yes, as Jeff just said, TV timeouts just got longer. Why? Advertising money. The NCAA is going to cash in on all the missed revenue from selling tickets to concessions, all of that stuff. They're going to cash in. Rest assured, the NCAA is going to make their billions. Oh, they're going to. At the expense of the advertisers now. Ad rates just went up for next week. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Big shout out to the one douchebag that gave a thumbs down to the show. You're very welcome for the content that we provide. Thank you for allowing us to transform your miserable of a life into something positive and something good with the entertainment and the free plays that we give out and the content. As Arizona and Washington in 9 minutes, anybody on that game? I am not on that game. But again, as long as the tournament happens, even though the bracket isn't out, obviously, who's your Final Four? Don't know. I'd have to say I'm better at betting the games than predicting bracketology, that's for sure. And quite frankly, as long as we're making money, I don't care who's in the Final Four. I hope it's 4 teams that have never been there before. because that means along the way we probably made some good money. But I would imagine Kansas, Gonzaga, Oregon will get close. I don't have a favorite team. Unless it's my USC Trojans, but I'm not banking on them to make the Final Four. That's for sure. Christopher Bayard, thank you. My cousin-in-law played in the NFL and said, when you're on the field, you don't even notice the fans while you're playing. Nobody tunes out people better than Tiger Woods on the course, that's for sure. And I can assure you, the kids that are playing, the pros that are playing, they give a rat's ass about the fans. They're still going to sell the same amount of jerseys in the NBA. It doesn't affect LeBron's pocketbook if the owner doesn't sell tickets. His contract is guaranteed regardless of how many fans are in attendance. So I promise you, all talk, and the players could give a rat's ass. Matter of fact, the players are probably happy. Less likelihood that they get sick. I mean, let's be honest. The only one that affects is you guys, the fans, the ones that would actually go. And again, no, I don't have a specific favorite team. Whoever I'm betting on is my favorite team. George Mason was my favorite team of the morning. Utah was my favorite team in the late morning. All right, 6 minutes to go. We better break down this Arizona game for everybody that wants to know. Let's pop it up, guys. Don't forget, guys, Washington just beat Arizona. They're in Arizona not long ago. Just the other day. All right, guys, just the other day. Arizona beat them in their very first meeting, 75-72 up in Washington. Washington got the revenge down in Arizona, beating them 69-63 just on March 7th, guys. Taking a look at the line on this one. If you're looking for the information, it's game 645, 646. Wildcats opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. It really didn't see any line movement until recently. And let me tell you, there are some huge money line parlays that all include Arizona money line. All right? That is actually what moved the line. It actually stirred some line movement, what actually got some more spread bets on Arizona late in the last hour. All right, that's coming directly from one of the bookmakers here in town. They are very heavy with some parlays that all include Arizona money line. Line is now up to 6.5 at MGM, 6.5 offshore at Bovada. Station still holding strong at a low 5.5. Everywhere else seems to be 6. Bovada, BetDSI, the Westgate here in Vegas as well. Wildcats, guys, 20-11 on the year. They had a rough Pac-12 conference this year. They ended up going 10-8 in conference play. They lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Disaster for the Wildcats, losing to Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Washington. Oh, my Lord, I bet you never would have saw that coming with an Arizona team. All right? Sean Miller and his program, they're definitely in a world of hurt. They're a 5 seed in this tournament, and their loss to Washington the other day. All that did was guarantee that they're no better than the 5 seed in the big dance. Motivation factor, to show that they're probably worthy of more than a 5 seed, but in reality, based on how they played in conference play, they're not. But they probably are definitely coming in with a chip on their shoulder, and I think we're going to see it today, and it all depends which Wildcats team shows up. If they come in looking for a nice big revenge scenario and pissing off everybody else, then yeah, it could be a big one, or it could be a close one, just like both meetings were, with both teams winning and both games decided by not many points. Taking a look at Washington, we're going to go through these numbers really quickly. Washington hitting 48.4% from the field, 32.6% from out deep, 48.1% of all their 2-point plays, a quality free throw shooting team at 70.6%. Arizona hitting 47.5 from the field, 33.5% from out deep. Struggling converting all their jump shots, layups, and dunks at just 46%. They're going to be going up against a Huskies defense that is number one at defending the two ball, holding teams to 42.6% shooting. Arizona hitting 71.7% from the charity stripe. They turned the ball over the second least amount of times in the Pac-12 at 17%. 21.6% for Washington. They are the number one team at committing turnovers on offense in the Pac-12. Offensive rebounds, 28% for Washington, 31.5% for the Wildcats. Two foul participation, 20% for Arizona. Major advantage as Washington's in it 50% of the time, guys. Height advantage, believe it or not, there's about a half-inch height advantage for the Huskies here. Both go to the bench for over 28% of their total minutes played. Point distribution, fairly similar. However, the big difference is Washington relies on the three ball for about 3.5% more. As far as this game goes, quick little lean on a quick little breakdown. I liked Arizona when it was at 4.5. As soon as the parlay money coming in on the money line started coming in on Arizona, and it bumped the line to 6, I was gonna make Arizona a personal play, but I didn't really like it at 6. Teasing it down might be an option if that's you. But, I mean, as far as a lean goes, I'll lean towards Arizona with a big revenge game, laying the 6. They are definitely, I don't want to say they're the better team. On paper, they're the better team. They're the more talented team. As far as a coaching matchup, I'll take Sean Miller over Mike Hopkins all day, every day, and twice on Sunday as my head coach, who I'd have to be backing. The experience level, Arizona and their coach, no doubt about it. Coming in for the Pac-12 tournament. Do they have anything really to play for other than a Pac-12 championship? Conference tournament title anyways. Other than that, this week they really have nothing to play for. No matter how good they do in this tournament, they're still going to be a 5 seed next week. So you have to consider that, the motivational level. I think Sean Miller will definitely want his team to be going into the big dance on a winning note and actually rolling and balling out. As far as what they've been doing, they've lost 4 out of the last 5. So I definitely look for Sean Miller to try and turn his program around, and that starts with a blowout over Washington. But based on the way they're playing in that line movement from 4.5 to 6, I'm off of it personally, but I do lean towards Arizona laying the 6. As far as the total goes on this one, I definitely see the total creeping over the 138.5 mark, which is at DraftKings, 139 everywhere else. So I do lean towards the over of 139 as well. There we go. We snuck that one in. Tom, what's going on, sir? What is going on, Tom? Tom, Danny, D-Rock, Shane, Max, Robert, Constantine, Tim, Mr. Blevins, John Chall in the house, Aaron, Trainwreck, Christopher Bear, DJ, Alex. Well, that was DJ, and then Alex, Robert S. Be Ye Transformed, Chido in the house, A-Rod in the house, Jeff in the house. Jeff says, what's good, Kyle? So close on the Utah money line, but I bet them because of you. Great call. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bear, glad you hammered Utah, Jeff, plus the points. Nice dog winner there. Kip tuning in. What's going on, my brother? Who else is here? Tar Hill, Tim, Mr. Grover as well. Chido, Alex Rodriguez, Nathan in the house. Mr. Grover, I think I just called you out twice in a row. Everybody else tuning in. Nicholas, Striker, what's going on, Tom? Everybody else, welcome. DJ 100 Grand making a guest appearance. Oh my. Says over in the Chicago NHL game tonight. Fresh Kabar 45, what is going on? What is going on, everybody? Well, for all of you guys that don't know, haven't checked your email or been to our website, we are giving away all of our premium plays today, absolutely free, if you make a donation towards the Navy SEAL Foundation in the amount of a minimum of $15. Make a minimum donation of $15, and we will give you all of our premium plays absolutely free. It is an amazing thing because, one, we raise money for an amazing cause. Two, we're going to make you money. And three, your bookies are going to pay for it all. That is the best thing about it. Make a minimum $15 donation. Even if you're on board for premium plays, you can still participate and still donate and raise money for an amazing cause. Speaking of raising money for an amazing cause, so far so good. A little lunchtime lull. Some of you guys slacking. Andrew, thanks for jumping on board. Thank you for your generous donation. Daniel Lopez, thanks for jumping on board as well. Thank you for your generous donation. Mr. Gal, thank you for your generous donation. Nicholas, thanks for your generous donation. I know you're brand new to our website, so welcome. Rodney, Mark, Mr. Blau, welcome. And, well, you guys are not welcome yet. You guys have been here, but thank you for your generous donation as well. Let's make everybody some money. Joseph, Boris, Eric, everybody else, thank you for your generous donation as well. I think another one just literally came in while I said it. Miss Mary Jones, thank you for your generous donation to the Navy SEAL Foundation. As of right now, folks, as of right now, we are almost at 80 donations towards the Navy SEAL Foundation, which is absolutely awesome. I think we're very close to the 1,200 mark or right around there. I don't have the exact dollar amount, but it's definitely looking good. We already won 1 premium plays. There's still plenty left for everybody to make some money on. All right, we did have George Mason laying the points. They decided to make it a we 1-0 on the day, and we're definitely looking to hammer the books and continue on with a 3-0 day. So, if you're not on board for our premium plays, or you've never tried us out before, this will be the cheapest, the easiest way to try us out. 100% of the proceeds will all go to the Navy SEAL Foundation, as we've partnered with them. When it's all said and done, I will fill out this lovely form, sign it with spreadsheets, credit card processing transaction receipts as well. Send it off to be audited, as well as the payment. We're raising money for a great cause. If you guys are not aware, guys, the Navy SEAL Foundation, an amazing organization to be able to donate money to. Charity Navigator gives them a score of 100 out of 100. 4 stars out of 4 stars. The Navy SEAL Foundation provides immediate and ongoing support and assistance to the Navy Special Warfare community and its family members. Active duty Special Warfare members that are injured, they help give them the extra rehabilitation needed to get our warriors back to operational status. To ones departing from the military, help them transition into a normal, non-war environment. For example, one of our viewers and great customers that some of you guys know on here, not on the live shows anyways, is a current Special Warfare member. As well, he's eligible for a service dog when he gets out, courtesy of the Navy SEAL Foundation, to help him with PTSD and all of that good stuff. And they also help the families of the fallen as well. From simple things like child care, sending a Special Warfare child to a summer camp. All of that good stuff. And many, many, many more. So make a $15 or more donation. There's no max to how much you can donate. There's no cap to it. but the minimum is $15, and we will give you, as a thank you, all of our premium plays on the house. Absolutely free. Something we love doing. Something we absolutely love doing. Daniel, I gave you a nice shout out as well. Thank you for your generous donation, and we look forward to working with you as well. I know you've been with me for our NFL Game of the Year, so glad to have you back. As well as everybody that's donated as well. Andrew, thank you for jumping on board a week of my personal plays, as well as everybody else that doesn't know. We're also running a package at the same time. There is a sale, 1 week of premium plays, or 1 week of my personal plays for $99. Renewing, Andrew, renewing early. It's $99 for an entire week, 7 full days with our guarantee that you make money, or we take care of you until you do. If you are one of the people that donated for premium plays today and you buy the week for premium plays, we're not counting your day to start until tomorrow. You participated in the donation. I know the video might be lagging a little, so bear with me real quick while I try and the live stream. I just shut the live stream one down in the Facebook Live. LaGraza, what's going on? So if you've ever wanted to try us, here's your opportunity to do it, and you benefit an amazing cause. If you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, come join us on YouTube Live. Your feeds are shut down. Alrighty. So what we're going to do, we are going to be breaking down some more college basketball action for everybody in just a short minute. We'll be breaking down all the action. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. And we're definitely going to have some fun. We're definitely going to have some fun today and see what we can't get done today. All right. So I did just get word that the NHL package is posted online. I know that they were waiting to post that. So if you're on our NHL package, just log in and you'll have access to the NHL. LaGraza, how did it go yesterday? Well, my personal plays ended up going 2-0 yesterday. We went 2-0 on free plays, and the live leans ended up going 6-4 yesterday. 6-4 on the live leans yesterday. 3-3 on the morning show, 3-1 on the afternoon show, so 6-4 on the live lean. So yesterday, not a bad day. NHL package went 1-1, but they lost a total minus $1.10, and they hammered a plus 160 dog in the Rangers. So that was a winning day. Ruben, yes, definitely. You can still donate. It's all for a great cause. Robert Allen says, I love this time of year, man. Games on all day, every day. Yes, sir, they are. Now, in the morning show, let's do a quick little recap of what we did. In the morning show, the only thing that we have left that's going is Idaho State during the live lean. We put out a lean on Idaho State plus the 4.5. They're up by 10 with 17.5 to go, looking strong, dominating over NAU just like we suspected. They were actually up by 15 at the half. However, NAU just opened up on a 5-0 run to start the second half, but I'm sure that'll taper off. Other than that, we gave out leans on NC State laying 5, winner. Pitt NC State over 139. We barely missed that one. George Mason under, we dropped that one. Southern U, we dropped that one. Idaho State, Southern U over 137, hammered that one as a winner. Utah and Oregon State over 133.5, winner. Utah plus the 3, winner. And then Idaho State plus 4.5. As of right now, we are 4-3 on our live leans from this morning. If Idaho State comes in, which hopefully they will, they're up by 10 right now. Hopefully they do, and then we end up 5-3 for the morning show. And we're going to get going on the rest of the games. Now, obviously, we can't hit every game on the board because there's quite a few of them. We're not going to be here that long. But we'll definitely try and hit a lot of them. We're going to start with the Georgia Southern. Actually, we'll start with the Northwestern Minnesota game. We'll start with the Northwestern and Minnesota game. That will be the very next one we do. That game goes down in 17 minutes for everybody, so we'll give a nice quick breakdown on that one. Now, disclaimer, we do have a play on the side of that one, so if you want that one, you got to join the donation day and get on board for that one. And again, the sooner you donate to the Navy SEAL Foundation to raise money for them, the more premium plays you will get. But remember, it's all for charity, and we make sure everybody makes money. So, with that being said, let's keep the fun rolling. I just refreshed the odds on this one, guys, and pulling up all the information that we need. For the Big Ten Conference, guys, game 651, 652, Minnesota opened up as an 8.5-point favorite. That line is down to 8. Total opened up at 137. It's down 1.5 to 135.5. Take a look at Northwestern, guys, 8-22 on the year. They went 3-17 in conference play, but 2 of their 3 conference wins and 2 of their 8 total wins all came in the last 3 games. They beat Penn State 80-69. Shocking. The Big Ten Conference, guys, as well as beating Nebraska, which was no big surprise. It took OT, but they got the job done. They beat them 81-76. All right, they beat Nebraska twice. Ruben, thank you, sir, for your very generous donation towards the Navy SEAL Foundation. I can assure you the Navy SEAL Foundation does not waste any money, and it's used very, very, very appropriately. And they will absolutely love your donation as well as everybody's donation that has already participated. Oh, and you know what? Also, I forgot a big shout out and a thank you to my beautiful, beautiful wife, who not only made a donation this morning once, but got back on there because she knows how dear it is to my heart and made a second donation in her name. So absolutely awesome as well. Take a look a little more in depth at Northwestern, guys. They had a very tough conference play game. And here's the thing. Are they turning it around? Are they turning their season around at the appropriate time? At the appropriate time. Thank you, Ruben, for donating as well. Thank you, sir. You know, excuse me, are they turning their season around? They've won 2 out of their last 3. Their only loss out of the last 3 games since March 1st to March 7th was against Wisconsin, where they lost by 15 points. Okay, take a look at Minnesota, guys. 14-16 on the year for the Golden Gophers. They went 8-12 in conference play. They had a disaster of a February, winning just 2 games in the month of February and dropping every other one. They went 2-6, 3-6 if you count their March games. All right, they went 3-6 in the final 9 games. They beat Wisconsin, Northwestern, and Nebraska. They lost to Penn State, Iowa, Indiana, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Indiana again. Richard Pitino needs to get his program in check if they want to make it even out of the first round against Northwestern today. Take a look at the side-by-side numbers, first of all. Northwestern hitting 46.3% from the field, 32.1% of all their 2-point plays, 45.3% of all their 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk. 71% from the charity stripe. Turnover rate, a low 14.9%. Believe it or not, that's only the 4th lowest turnover rate in the Big Ten. Turning the ball over a high 20% of the time. Minnesota, 47.9% from the field, 31.6% from out deep, 48.3% conversion of all their two-point plays. 67.6% from the charity stripe. Turnover rate, 15.8%. 30.9% offensive rebounds. Two-foul participation. There's definitely an edge when it comes to that for Northwestern. They're in at 18.6% of the time. Minnesota, 47%. Minnesota doesn't go to the bench very much. Just 21% of their total minutes played by bench personnel compared to the 32%. The difference is the two-point play for Northwestern. 56% of their total points will be of the two-point kind, compared to 50 for Minnesota, who relies pretty heavy on the three ball at just under 33%. As far as this one goes, we have a play on the side. But as far as the total goes, on this one, my personal lean on the total, the total's down to 135.5, 134.5 at stations. Everywhere else is 135.5. Stations keeps taking some big hits on the under. I do lean towards the over in this one. I think the lack of defense by both programs, as well as the three ball, and Northwestern's lack of defending it, put Minnesota in the two-foul participation early, them being at 47%. That definitely helps the over. Northwestern's in it 18.6% of the time. That's just on the cusp of being a factor. So as far as this one goes, I do lean towards the over 135.5 as well. LaGraza says over. Northwestern will have to keep up with Minnesota. Pace of play, both are on the slower side, 18.1 seconds on average per possession for Northwestern. 18.3 for Minnesota. Division I average is 17.5 seconds, just so everybody is aware. Glad everybody's tuning in, first of all. No, Max, not watching the Liverpool game. I'm here. If you guys are new to our YouTube channel, first of all, we go live. We go live 7 days a week, 2 times a day. We'll also be live tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, as well as 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific for all of tomorrow's action as well. Seven days a week live shows, so if you haven't already done so, take 1 second out of your day. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, that way you get notified each and every single time we drop content. You will be notified. Tap that little bell next to it, that way you get the instant notifications and the dings every time we drop content. For everybody that doesn't know, my game of the week is tomorrow. Yes, my game of the week is tomorrow in college basketball. I got the matchup that I wanted. I got everything that I wanted. And it'll be live on the site later on today. So if you want my game of the week, just go to the website, cappersdirect.com. Click on that guaranteed tab, scroll down, and you can get signed up for it. It's definitely going to be a good time. And if you were on it last week, you get it this week for free. Mr. Voss, thank you, sir, for jumping on board the donation day as well. Enjoy the premium plays. And thank you for your generous donation to the Navy SEAL Foundation. Alrighty, Arizona out to a little lead. 26 points scored in the first 5 minutes and 48 seconds. Can you say over? Because I say over. We gave a lean on the over as well. Arizona already knocking down 3 3-pointers to start. Watch out, folks. All right, next game day breakdown rolling. Next game day breakdown rolling. Now, I'm not going to lie. I do kind of like more than a lean. A little more than a normal lean. Not enough to make my card, but more than a lean. So, I can't lie to you guys. I did just put a small wager in on it. All right, I did just put a small wager on the over 135.5, although I got it at 135, just a full disclaimer. But again, that's not an official free play. It's just a lean, and I don't bet it like I do a big play. So there's that one. All right, next game that we're going to break down. Next game that we're going to break down for everybody. We're going to go take a look at the Georgia Southern Georgia State game. Georgia Southern Georgia State. That'll be one of the 7 p.m. Eastern time games here in just a little over an hour. Since they're both from Georgia and they both got Georgia in their name, we're going to refer to them as Southern and State. Yes, Robert, I leaned towards the over in the Minnesota game. I bet it, but I bet it small. All right, I did not bet it like a normal bet. It was more like a lean bet. Something for fun. William, thank you for tuning in, sir. Chido says, if you bet it, Kyle, I bet it. Just remember to bet it appropriately. I didn't bet it big or anything like that. Just full disclaimer. On the over, that was. And I got it at 135. It was a good line. Alrighty, so let's continue the fun. We got Georgia Southern, Georgia State, to be referred to in this breakdown as Southern and State, to avoid having to say Georgia 47 million times. If you are looking for the game number for the Sun Belt Conference quarterfinals, here you go. Game 667. 668. State opening up as a 5-point favorite. It's down to 4.5. Total opened up at 153. It's up to 154.5 in some spots, 155 in a couple other, and 155 in some other spots. If you're looking to find out who's at home, State is at home at the GSU Sports Arena. Okay? Keep that in mind. Georgia State is at home for the Sun Belt Conference. They don't have a tournament in one location. They all have a home team. Georgia Southern. Southern, as they will be referred to from here on out, 19-13 on the year, 12-8 in conference play. They lost 3 out of their last 5 games, losing to App State, Texas State, Arkansas State. They did beat University of Texas, Arlington, as well as Georgia State. They just beat them 79-70 on the 28th. They did just beat Louisiana on Monday. 82-81, super high scoring game. And then they draw State today. State 19-12 on the year for Rob Lehner and his program, 12-8 in the Sun Belt. They ended up winning their final conference play game against Little Rock, 89-70. However, they lost 3 out of their last 4, losing to UT Arlington, Texas State, and Southern by 9, who they're going to play today. Now, they did beat Georgia Southern, everybody. They actually beat them on the road. They swapped. Both of them won on the road this year. They beat them 82-77 on the road. Keynote, both of those games well into the 150s on the total here. Interesting because we get anywhere from 154.5 up to 155.5, depending on where you're looking. Taking a look a little more in depth with both programs. Southern hitting 50.7% from the field. First of all, both of these teams are quality shooting teams, with the exception of Southern from the charity stripe. They're absolutely horrible there. All right, they're hitting 32% from out deep, 52.6% of all their 2-point plays, and as I said, horrible from the charity stripe at 67%. They turn over the ball at a rate of 18.9%. Offensive rebounds, a low 26.4%. That means 26.4% of all the rebounds will be offensive rebounds. State, on the other hand, hitting 51% from the field, number 2 in the Sun Belt. 35.8% of all their 3-point attempts will go in the hoop, number 2 in the Sun Belt. Converting 49.1% of all their 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk. 76.9% shooting from the charity stripe, number 2 free throw shooting team in the Sun Belt. They're also the number 2 offensive rebounding team in the Sun Belt at the rate of 32.3%. They turn the ball over at the rate at 19.3%. And Southern will be going up against the number 1 rated defense in the Sun Belt. And that's Southern, who's holding teams to 47.9%, shooting 27.9% from out deep, and turning the ball over at a rate of 20.1%. Now, Georgia State's defense. They actually have the lowest number of what they're holding opponents to in the Sun Belt. 46.2% shooting. Turnovers, number 2 at 20.8%. Number 1 at defending that 2-point play, 46.7%. Number 2 at defending the 3-ball. So you have 2 very, very, very quality defenses going up against each other again today. 2 foul participation, State at 12%, Southern at 28%. Height advantage, none. Really, both go to the bench nearly 30% of the total minutes. No opinion whatsoever on the side of this game. I think it could go either direction. But as far as the total on this one, I'm going to take a stab. The total's going up, and I'm leaning towards the under 155.5. I lean towards the under 155.5. That is my official lean on this one. And again, nothing crazy, nothing big, and I will not have $1 on it. Let's see here. Mr. Allred, thank you for your generous donation to the Navy SEAL Foundation. I believe that gets us, we're either at 80. I have to go back and double check the exact numbers, because we had a couple come in that were not through the website. But we're very close to 80 donations. My goal was obviously over 100. But as far as last minute promotion goes, I think we're doing great. I think we're doing great raising money for an amazing cause. I think the dollar amount as well. I think we're getting very close to the 1,300 or 1,400 mark, something right around there. Full disclaimer, there might be an additional premium play posted. I will not know until about an hour and a half from now. So if you're on board for the premium plays, we will email you. We will post on the YouTube community page. I will post on the Twitter. The company will post on their Twitter if for some reason we add a premium play. So there's a chance we'll add one more, but full disclosure for everybody, we have one premium play left. Beastie Pop, I love it. But we have one big premium play left that I absolutely love. So make sure you guys do not miss out on that. And we're going to continue taking in the donations for the Navy SEAL Foundation. We're going to continue to have, and we're going to keep the madness rolling. Idaho State up 57-50, catching 4.5. Arizona out to the early lead, 20-13. Hopefully, they keep that up. Hopefully, they keep that up. As well as the scoring. They definitely slowed down the pace. 33 points in the first 10 minutes. Unless they, 33 points in the first 10 minutes. And we did give out a lean on the over 139. So hopefully they jump back out to what they did. 26 points in the first 5 minutes. Not much after that, the last 5 minutes. So hopefully they pick the pace back up. Beastie Pop says the birds chirping in Kyle's show. Background saying, take the Irish. I have my... It's been raining all day, so I've had the window open, or not the window, but the door open, and enjoying the fresh air and the sound of the rain. Michael says, watching live from jury duty. Let's go, boys and girls, boys and gals. Thank you, Michael. Hopefully you get recused from jury duty. I would just tell him he's guilty, no matter what. I side with the popo. If he's here, he's guilty, and he's guilty. Jess says, what's up, everybody? Morning, Kyle. Great thing you're doing today for the service of your USA Navy SEALs. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love raising money for them. And it's been a while since we did the last one. I think September of last year, which is unacceptable. We need to be doing it at least once in a quarter. Maybe we'll do it again here in the very near future to make up for one. William says, good man, side with the law. Absolutely. If he's here, he's guilty. Send me home. If I got to be here at jury duty, he's obviously guilty. You know, makes my job easier. He's guilty. Kip says, guilty of cashing tickets. Matthew S. says, where's my mustache? In the vacuum. Part of it's probably down the sink. The other part's in the vacuum. All right. Next game day breakdown. That we're going to do. Let's take a look at the Boston College Notre Dame game. Give me 1 second. Is having the runs a symptom of the coronavirus? Does anybody know? Or could it be because I had a green shake for lunch? But if you guys see me run out of here, it's to run to the restroom. Imagine if I got the coronavirus, I could just stay at home for like 3 weeks and get paid. I still bet on the games. Ruben says, I sat, yes, they have done something wrong to be here because I don't come to trial at a courthouse just to hang out. Absolutely. Black acid blood, love it. Michael says, shout out to Ventura County Superior Court. Guilty. Absolutely. Dustin says, when's the deadline to sign up for the week of premium plays for $99 tonight at midnight? Tonight at midnight, you need to be signed up for the week of premium plays if you want it. And remember, you can get a week of premium plays or a week of my personal plays for $99. If you did the donation day and you do the week of premium plays, we won't count today as one of your days. So it's like your 7 days doesn't start today. It'll start after the donation day. So not a bad deal there. James H. says shutting down the tourney will affect capping. I completely disagree. Chido, how many times do I have to get it to be called Tecate or a Pacifico? All right, next game day breakdown. As planned, Boston College, Notre Dame. This one will be going down in 51 minutes. Now, I love me a good Pacifico. If I can find Pacifico on draft, I think it's my favorite beer to drink. Black Acid Blood says, why is Wendy selling chicken sandwiches for breakfast? Has anyone ever had a chicken sandwich for breakfast? Yes, McDonald's has been selling chicken sandwiches for breakfast for as long as I've been alive, I think. Chick-fil-A sells them for breakfast. Chicken fried steak and eggs, you know. All right. Chicken biscuit at McDonald's. I knew they had a chicken sandwich, but I've never had it. Maybe I'll get one tomorrow. All right. So we're going to break down this very next one, Boston College and Notre Dame. Igor tuning in. What's going on? Trainwreck, I can't say that I've ever had Chick-fil-A breakfast. Black Acid Blood, think dogs have their day with no big crowds for big name teams? No. I think you guys give too much credit to fans. These kids tune out the fans. Maybe it'll affect opposing teams' free throw shooting. That maybe they make it a little bit better. But as far as that goes, remember, not many of these kids are going to be playing in their own home court. And as we discussed earlier, the kids give a rat's ass who's in the crowd. As long as it's televised and the scouts are watching, either in person or online, that's all that matters to these kids. To the kids that won't move on to the NBA, they just want to play. They don't give a rat's ass if there's fans or family. You got to remember, probably 99% of these kids are not going to go to the NBA. Their time is done. They're going to be playing pickup ball at the park in a month from now. To play the sport that they love, that they played their entire childhood and early adult life. They'll be down at your local EOS or Lifetime Fitness playing some pickup ball. It'll affect the shooting because the stadium will be colder. Henry, maybe you forgot that there's this thing called air condition. You know, I've been in a lot of stadiums, arenas, pavilions from every sport. Baseball, basketball, football, college, pro. And this day and age, they've got air condition. And the temperature down on the court is not what you feel up in the nosebleeds. Or the second level. So to say the temperature is going to affect the game, again, I strongly disagree. Greg says it'll affect the overall feel for them. The Final Four game will probably be moved to a smaller venue. As far as affect the overall feel, I think we see better basketball, to be honest. Because, Henry, you could also say on the flip side of your opinion that shooting will be affected because of the stadium will be colder. Maybe there'll be less sweat, less slippage, better shots taken. But again, I don't think the temperature inside the stadium will be affected at all. But anyways, back to the game day breakdowns. Beastie Pops. Exactly. Should be played like every game in White Men Can't Jump. Outside. All right. If you guys want a good, interesting listen about the coronavirus, go look at Joe Rogan's podcast from yesterday. He put out a clip from an interview with a very well-respected infectious disease specialist. Amazing information given out on Joe Rogan's podcast. Chido dropping the NCAA knowledge. Says, I used to wrestle in college and half my tournaments went well into the night with no audience, but I tried to win every single match. I do agree. All right, next game day breakdown, Boston College, Notre Dame. Let's get to the breakdowns. That way we can keep the fun rolling. Greg says, LOL, players don't even recognize the temperature. I do agree because they're sweating so much and they're already hot. Maybe a lower, cooler temperature in the arena will help them perform better. Boston College, guys, 13-18 on the year for the Eagles out of Chestnut Hill. Jim Christian and his program went 7-13 in the ACC play. They dropped their final 5 games of the regular season, losing to Virginia, Clemson, Notre Dame by 1, who they're playing today, Syracuse, and Florida State. All right, guys, they already lost to Notre Dame. However, they beat them by 1 on the road. They flipped. Each team won on the road. All right, each team won on the road. Here they are, neutral site game. Who's going to get the job done? The Fighting Irish, 19-12 on the year. Mike Bray and his program ended up going 10-10 in conference play. They won 4 out of their final 6 games, beating Virginia Tech, Boston College, Miami, and North Carolina. They lost to Wake, and they lost to Florida State. They lost to Florida State by 2, Wake by 11. Here they are drawing Boston College today, guys, and this should be a good one. All right, guys. Taking a look at the side-by-side numbers. First of all, if you're looking for the game number, it's game 635, 636. Notre Dame, a 9.5-point favorite when they opened. That line is 10.5. 140.5 was the total. It really hasn't moved. However, the D casino is a point lower. All right, point lower at 139.5. Okay, this is a split series, all decided by a single point. For both games. Each team won on the road by a single point, and here we are with Notre Dame laying 10.5. All right, this is a lot of what have you done for me now. Boston College hasn't had a win since February 16th when they beat NC State. All right, taking a look at both programs. You got Boston College hitting 46.9% from the field, 31% from out deep, 47.1% of all their 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk, and an absolutely pathetic 62.9% from the charity stripe. Notre Dame, 50% from the field, 34.1% from out deep, 49.2% conversion of all their jump shots, layups, and dunks, and a very well-respected and a quality 75.3% from the free throw line. Greg, I can't give an opinion. I haven't been paying attention to the game, but I do know 11 points scored in the first 6.5 minutes is disgusting. I'm sure they pick it up, but I don't do any live betting unless I'm and have this one on for the fact that we were doing the breakdowns. Notre Dame guys 75.3% from the charity stripe. They turn the ball over the least in the ACC, guys, at a very low 14.8%. 18.8% for Boston College, who also has 26.3% offensive rebounds. 26.9% in the same category for Notre Dame. 2 foul participation. 30% for Notre Dame, 25% for Boston College. They're both in it. No big difference there. As far as height advantage, about a half-inch height advantage on average for every player coming out of Notre Dame. Not a big deal there. Notre Dame goes to the bench for roughly 20% of their total minutes played by bench personnel, 21.9 to be specific. 34% for Boston College. Boston College relying on the three ball for 34% of their total minutes, and they're a 31% success rate from out deep. 38.8% for Notre Dame from out deep, and they are hitting at a rate of 34%. Take a look at both teams' defenses. They absolutely stink. Not much to talk about there other than they absolutely stink. As far as this one goes, opinion on the side, I am off of it. 10.5 seems a lot to me. If I was going to do anything, which I wouldn't, it would be Boston College plus the 10.5 or nothing, knowing that they each have split out with a 1-point victory. Both of them, both times. Each team won on the road by 1 point. I think 10.5 is a weird number. Maybe Notre Dame comes out and they absolutely rock them. I mean, they have won 4 out of their final 6 games. Boston College losing 5 straight games to end the regular season. So for that one, I'm off the side. However, I do lean towards the over in this one. So a little lean on the over. Not a big lean. Not a big lean. So I do lean towards the over 140.5. We'll get the next game day breakdown rolling. Alrighty, next game day breakdown that we're going to do. We'll take a look at the St. John's and Georgetown game. St. John's and Georgetown coming up next. That'll be the next game day breakdown that we do. I'm going to try and get through a lot of the big marquee matchups. Hopefully we're able to. Idaho State hanging in strong for the cover, hopefully. Up by 1 with 33 seconds left. As long as they cover the 4.5, we'll have that live lean there. Arizona up by 5 with 3:48 to go. 31-26. They pick the scoring back up there. Minnesota up 11-9. And a barn burner there. Official timeout in that game. And next game day breakdown rolling. St. John's, Georgetown. If you're looking for the game number on this one. All right, guys, got to go down to the Big East Conference. Game 655, 656. And first of all, if you're new to our channel, if you're new to the Cappers Direct and the Cappers Nation live shows, first of all, welcome. Welcome. We go live 2 times a day. 7. 2 times a day at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We break down all the action, put you guys on a bunch of leans, as well as some quality plays. Idaho State with the win. Plus 4.5 winning outright. That makes us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 from the morning show live leans. So if you're new to our channel, welcome. Glad to have everybody here. Hit that subscribe button right now. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way, you guys get notified each and every single time we drop content. You will be notified. Mr. Williams, thank you for your generous donation to the Navy SEAL Foundation. I hope you enjoy the premium plays as well. Greg, I did a very minuscule bet on the over in the Minnesota game. Over 135. But it's looking like that one's going to be a disaster. So, with that being said, let's keep the game day breakdown rolling. St. John's, guys, opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. Georgetown opened up as the 3.5-point dog. That line is now up to 4, just about everywhere with the exception of the D Casino. Total opened up at 151.5, and it's dropping, guys, down to 151 at 5 dimes, 150.5 at the Westgate, the D, Caesars stations as well, Bovada and BetDSI all at 151. Taking a look at Georgetown, guys, 15-16 on the years for the Hoyas. Patrick Ewing in his Big East Conference play was a disaster. 5-13. They lost their last final 6 games of the season, losing to Providence, DePaul, Marquette, Xavier, Creighton, and Villanova. However, they hung tough against Villanova, losing by 1. They hung tough against Xavier, losing by 3. DePaul, they ended up losing by 6 as well. They did beat St. John's by 1, 73-72 on the road on February 2nd. They also beat them by 21 back on January 8th. 87-66 at home before they had their monster skid. They get St. John's today, a team that they're very familiar with, a team that they beat twice on the year, guys. In St. John's, 16-15 on the year, 5-13 in conference play. They ended up beating Marquette 88-86 to win their final game of the regular season. They've won 2 out of their final 3 games, with their only loss being a 22-point loss to Butler. They also beat Creighton by 2 as well. Side-by-side comparison of conference play only numbers. First of all, Georgetown, 46.6% from the field, 34.4% from out deep, 44.3% of all their 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk. And Georgetown is the number 1 free throw shooting team in the Big East at 78.3%. All right, they turn over the ball a low 17.1%, 29.2% offensive rebounds as well. St. John's, guys, 45%, even poorer shooting from the field. 32.5% from out deep, 43.3% of all their 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk, and a average 70.2% from the charity stripe. St. John's is the team that turns over the ball the least amount in all of the Big East at 13.6%, 25.7% offensive rebounds, so they lack in that category. Their 2-foul participation is very minimal, 13%, 23% for Georgetown. Georgetown doesn't go to the bench very much. Under 22% of the playing time will be by bench personnel compared to the 37 for St. John's. Height advantage, none whatsoever, really. Point distribution, St. John's relies on that three ball for 29% of their total points. They rely on the 2-point play for almost 54%, and they have a horrible conversion rate. All right, Georgetown's pretty even across the board. However, for the most part, 21.5% of their total points will come from the charity stripe. They're a 78.3% free throw shooting team, number 1 in the Big East, or number 15 overall in Division I, knocking down free throws. So I would definitely expect them to exploit teams from the charity stripe, and that's what they have done. As far as this one goes, I have no opinion on the total on this game, no opinion whatsoever on the total, but I do lean towards the team that's already beat them twice. Yes, they lost, a handful of games to end the regular season. Well, more than a handful, 6 to end the regular season, but I think they bounce back strong today. I think they get a win. I don't think it's going to be a big one. It's the reason why I don't have any money on this game. I think it's going to be a very close game. But as far as this one goes, I do lean towards Georgetown plus the 4 as far as this game goes. Greg says it could still pick up Kyle. It's been hovering at 129 now for the live line, so you're not far off the pace. Minnesota opening up to the 9-point lead. As long as Minnesota covers the spread, we're all good. As long as Minnesota covers the spread for all the people donating for the Navy SEAL Foundation, that is all that matters. And again, we still have one premium play. However, there's a chance that there'll be one more added. If it's added, everybody will be emailed. That way you guys get notified. Normally we don't add plays or have a late addition, but there was one that we were really wanting to do. We're trying to confirm that 2 key players are going to be playing and not out before we ever make the decision. So if we're able to confirm it in a timely manner, we will definitely make the play a go and let everybody be notified. But as far as the donations go, I want to say a big thank you for absolutely everybody that participated in the donation day so far, and to everybody that does, between now and when it comes off the website. It'll be coming off the website very shortly. So you have about 30 minutes if you want to participate, less than 30 minutes if you want to participate in the Navy SEAL Foundation donation day, where you get premium plays for today only for free. But to everybody that donated, and I think we clipped 80 people so far. We eclipsed the 80 donation mark. I think that it's absolutely awesome what you guys did. And I had my hat on. Oh, here we go. Well, I'll tip my hat to you guys, and a big round of applause to everybody that jumped on board. And I hope we're all blessed with a big 3-0 sweep, or if you signed up a little bit later, a 2-0 sweep, or if you signed up the latest, a 1-0 on the final game. But either way, we'll take care of everybody to make sure everybody's making money. And I'll have the total numbers for tomorrow, full transparency as well. And this is something that I'm, as a former United States Navy sailor myself, this is something that I'm absolutely honored to do and extremely excited. And I know we did it 3 or 4 times last year, but it wasn't enough. We need to do this once a month, in my personal opinion. If I can get the company to allow it, it needs to be something that happens once a month at a random day or a random time, and or even once a quarter. Even once a quarter, it needs to happen. It's absolutely awesome what we do and what you guys do for the most part, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't do it. I mean, I donate to them regardless. I donate to them regardless every year. So for you guys to be able to do it and raise money for such an amazing charity, and the cause is even better, is absolutely awesome. And there's not many sports services in this scummy industry, because let's be honest, there's more scums and black eyes than there are positive people in this industry. So to be able to work with you guys on this. I'm absolutely honored, and thank you. So, thank you. Arizona up by 5 at the half, 35-30. Minnesota's lead has been diminished 17-14, 7:35 to go. Time for another game day breakdown. I don't know how many more we have to do or how many more we have time for, but we'll definitely break some down. We're going to jump to a late night game to help you guys out. That way we at least get it out of the way. Washington State and Colorado. Because I know there'll be some people at 11:30 Eastern time that will be looking for action. Thanks, Shane, for tuning in. So let's break down this one, this late night chaser special for everybody. Mr. Harden, thank you for your generous donation to the Navy SEAL Foundation as well. Absolutely awesome. Alrighty, next game day breakdown, Washington State. The Cougars against the Colorado Buffalo, who have absolutely fell apart the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Taking a look at the line on this one, guys. Pac-12 play. Game 649, 650. Colorado opened up as a 9-point favorite. It's hovering around 10 to 10.5, depending on where you're looking. The Cougars catching 10.5 in a lot of spots. Total opened up at 137.5. It's hovering right around there, or 137, depending on where you're looking. Thank you, Henry. I do appreciate the very generous donation, and it all goes to an amazing cause. Take a look at the side on this one, guys. You got the Cougars 15-16 on the year out of Pullman, Washington. Kyle Smith and his program, they lost 6 out of their last 7 games, with their only win, a big win on the road against in-state rival, the Washington Huskies, 78-74. Other than that, they lost 6 out of their last 7 games, losing to both LA teams, UCLA and USC. They lost to Cal, they lost to Stanford, they lost to Arizona and Arizona State. All right. Here they are, guys. They get the Buffaloes, who have kind of unraveled the last 2 weeks of college basketball. They lost 4 straight, losing to UCLA, Cal, Stanford, and Utah. Utah was an overtime loss on the road, and they had a tough road schedule the last week of the season. They lost to UCLA at home, who rightfully so deserved that victory, and then they lost 3 straight, losing to Cal, Stanford, and Utah, all on the road. Very tough road games. Okay, taking a look at the side-by-side numbers of both programs. First of all, Colorado is not a bad offensive program at all. They have a very quality shooting program. However, for the most part, the Pac-12 is a quality shooting program, with the exception of Washington State. All right, they hit 44.8% from the field, 31.4% from out deep, a pathetic 43.3% of all their jump shots, layups, and dunks. Very poor number there. They're number 12 in the Pac-12 in that stat. As far as their free throw shooting, that's quality, number 2 in the Pac-12, 75.1%. Not a bad number there. As far as Colorado goes, 51.9% from the field, number 3 in the Pac-12. 34.7% from out deep, number 4 in the Pac-12, knocking down the 3 ball. 51.8% of all their jump shots, layups, and dunks, number 2 in the Pac-12. And 74% from the charity stripe. They also turn the ball over at a rate of 17.9% of the time, 18.5% for Washington State. Offensive rebounds for Washington State, 25.7%, 28.3% for Colorado. Colorado does not participate much at all in the 2-foul participation, just 7.5%, 45.4% for Washington State. No height advantage whatsoever. Both go to the bench for over 30% of the minutes. I like Colorado here. However, full disclaimer, Colorado has struggled the final 4 games of the season. Now, they just beat Washington State by 22 at home on January 23rd. If Colorado hadn't been on such a losing streak, their final 4 games. Good afternoon, Who Dat Bob. Thanks for joining us, Bobby. If the Buffaloes hadn't lost 4 straight, I probably would have made this at least a personal play. If not, it would have already been a premium play. But the unpredictability of Colorado, the line jumping already from 9 to 10.5 to 10 at the MGM, Caesars, Stations, Bovada, and BetDSI. I do lean Colorado, laying the 10, and it's just a very small lean. As far as the total goes of 137, I think we get extremely close. If and only if Colorado blows them out. If Colorado walks away in a late night game against Washington State, I lean towards the over in this one. I think that's the only way. Obviously, if it hit overtime and Washington State all of a sudden decided to make buckets, which they haven't been able to make all season long, which happens in tournaments. Welcome to the madness. We might see that. But as far as I'm concerned, in order for this game to go over, Colorado's got to blow them out. Is that possible? Yeah, I lean towards it. Colorado may not cover, or they may win by 30. Just depends if they come out shooting and they've got their little woos fixed from their final 4 games of the season. So, lean on Colorado as well as the over. Again, if you're new to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you do not miss a beat. Also, hit that thumbs up button, guys, if you haven't already done so. Hit that thumbs up button. That way you do not miss a beat. And we get our video trending on YouTube. The bigger we build this, the more we'll give back to you guys absolutely free. Alrighty. So there's a late night chaser breakdown. Remember, you have 19 minutes to participate in the Navy SEAL Foundation Donation Day. Northwestern up by 2, 23-21, with Minnesota going cold. I'm sure that'll definitely change. Arizona up by 5 at the half. Interesting to see real quick what the second half line is. See if the Huskies make a big push the second half. Taking a look at some first half stats, the Huskies went 1 of 11 from out deep, shooting just 9% from three-point range. Arizona just 5 of 14 for 36%. Washington went 7 of 7 from the charity stripe. Washington out-rebounding Arizona 20-7. Turnovers extremely high for both programs. 11 for Washington, 10 for Arizona. Second half line, Arizona -2, minus $1.10. Money line minus $1.55. let's see what else is there. Second half total 75 over and under. Give me one quick second, folks. Alrighty. Greg says because there's only so many points scored in college basketball, the window can be big sometimes. I do agree. Alrighty, we're going to break down another game for everybody. We're going to break down the Kansas State and TCU game. Kansas State and TCU breakdown coming up next. For everybody. One quick second. Alrighty. Let me get the live odds up for TCU and Kansas State. That'll be the next game day breakdown. That we do. 15 minutes left for the Navy SEAL Foundation donation where you can get the rest of our premium plays absolutely free just for making a generous donation. Instructions are in the description of the video on the front page of our website. And let's have some fun. I've got the odds refreshing for this one. And if you're looking for the game number, it's game 665, 666. TCU opened up as a 1.5 point favorite. That line actually dropped this morning, okay? That line dropped this morning to -1. And here we are. It creeped back up all day long, laying 2. TCU laying 2 at 5 dimes to Westgate, MGM, the D, Caesars, Stations, and BetDSI Offshore. 2.5 at DraftKings, 2.5 at Bovada, as well as they come in on the high side. As far as the money line on this one goes, TCU opening up as a 135 favorite, -135. It's still hovering at 125 at the Westgate. 5 dimes on the high side at 145, but the Westgate coming in low where it was all morning long at 125. You've got Kansas State 10-21 on the year for the Wildcats, guys. Bruce Weber in his Big 12 conference play went 3-15. They got that 3 against Iowa State just on Saturday, their final game of the season. Diego 34, I don't think I'm going to have time, brother. We've already been breaking down a ton of games already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games so far in the second show. Arthur, thank you for jumping on board for the Navy SEAL donation day and donating your very generous donation as well. Other than their big win, their third win of the season, which was against Iowa State, this team absolutely has had a rough go. Losing to West Virginia, Baylor, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, Texas, Baylor, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. What is that, 10 straight games? 3, 4, 10 straight losses. They finally won 7-11 in conference play. They did lose 3 out of their last 4 games of the regular season for them. They lost to Iowa State, Kansas, and Oklahoma. The Oklahoma loss was a 2-point loss at home. The Iowa State loss was a 6-point loss on the road and a 9-point loss to Kansas on the road. They did beat Baylor 75-72 in a West Virginia overtime win, 67-60. Both of these teams have had their issues. Breaking news. Thank you, William, for the update. The Big Ten announced no fans at the tournament. The Big Ten Conference Tournament starting tomorrow. Starting with tomorrow's second round games, there will be no fans at the Big Ten tournament. This is actually heartbreaking, but it's all good. As long as we got games to watch and bet on, I think we'll be okay. Kansas State hitting 47.2% from the field, 29.8% from out deep, 48.7% of all their jump shots, layups, and dunks, 65% from the charity stripe. Then you've got TCU hitting 47.5% from the field, 35% from out deep, which makes them the second best three-ball shooting team in the Big 12 Conference, 43.7% conversion of all their two-point plays, which is low, 63% from the charity stripe, which again is low. Both teams turning over the ball quite a bit. TCU leading the charge at 22.5%, 21.6% for Kansas State. As far as is the feed dropping on your guys' end, or is it just dropping on my end? Because it keeps going off and on my end. TCU in the two foul 14% of the time, 21.5% for Kansas State. It lagged a little. Okay, well, I'm glad it's back. Good thing it's towards the end, right? Good thing it's towards the end. Height advantage, about a half-inch height advantage on average every player coming out of TCU. Both go to the bench for over 30% of the total minutes. As far as this one goes, as far as the total goes, no opinion on the total whatsoever. No opinion on the total whatsoever, but I do have an official free play for you guys for hanging out with us all day long. I mean, a lot of you got 3 premium plays, or 2, or 1, for making your generous donations, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But free personal play for everybody. I gave out earlier, the line has moved a little bit depending on what book you're betting at. I know not all of you can bet at the Westgate. But I gave out TCU on the money line, minus $1.25. That line moved a little bit to minus 145, depending on, or to minus 140, excuse me, depending on where you're looking. So free personal play. TCU on the money line, minus 125 is what I gave out. Taking them on the money line here. I think they're the better team, even though their numbers don't support it. Because their numbers on offense, they're a tad bit better than Kansas State when it comes to offense. However, their numbers don't really support the coaching advantage with Jamie Dixon over Bruce Weber, in my opinion. The talent level, obviously both teams struggling the latter part of the season, more so for Kansas State than TCU. So do lean on TCU on the money line. Not lean, free play. It was one of my official plays that I put out and that I bet. This one starts in a couple hours, so you have plenty of time. Okay, you have plenty of time to bet it. Arizona up 41-32. Minnesota down 31-29 at the half. And again, to everybody that made a very generous donation, it doesn't matter if you were doing the bare minimum $15 or you did more. Again, a huge thank you for everybody that jumped on board the donation day and absolutely rocked it. Raymond, how do I like TCU -2? I didn't see much value in -2 versus minus 125 this morning, but I know that's all you can bet. You can bet it, and I think you'll be fine. The value was on the money line this morning before the line moved, or this afternoon before the line moved. But I think you'll be fine, Ray. And again, thank you to everybody that jumped on board the donation day. I'll have official numbers tomorrow. I'll have official numbers tomorrow, but it looks like over 80 donations are very close to it. And well over $1,000. I think it was 12 or 1,300. We're right around, which is pretty damn cool. And we'll do it again. We won't wait as long. We won't wait 6 months to do it again. Okay? We won't wait 6 months to do it again. Who was the biggest donation? I don't have that in front of me yet. Don't have that in front of me just yet. It could be somebody on the live show. It could be just one of our other regular customers. But in the end, it'll end up being me, but I don't count towards the bonus. So, gonna be a fun time. I can't wait to tally everything up. All right, guys and gals. Enjoy that free play. And again, I tip my hat in a big, very well, warm thank you to everybody that jumped on board the donation day. I know we had a bunch of new people sign up on the website to participate. And that's the awesome part. Not only do you guys get rewarded with premium plays, hopefully they all win. Hopefully we go 3-0. You know, that we're definitely overdue for a 3-0 premium play day. But be on the lookout, guys. There's a possibility that there'll be an added premium play here in a little bit. So we'll know here in probably a half hour-ish, 45 minutes-ish, or less, which will be a really late edition, which normally we don't ever add one that late, but we've been waiting on it. So all right, guys and gals, enjoy your day. Let's make some money. If you haven't already donated to the Navy SEAL Foundation, you can in the next 5 minutes. And then after that, I do believe the payment link, the donate link, is coming off the website. All right, guys, take it easy. Good luck. Always bet within your means. Remember, hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button on your way out the door. We'll see you guys all live. Noon Eastern, 9 Pacific tomorrow. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you guys